Hey, I'm Lou. Welcome back. Today I would like to share some journaling prompts that I've been using lately and that have been really helpful. I've been journaling for a while now. I think if you haven't picked it up yet, or if you're not sure how to get started, maybe to start journaling consistently or more often, what made me become so consistent and convinced me to make a habit out of it was a couple of things. First, I really like sorting out my thoughts, and I'm really the type of person who feels better once everything is down on paper or on a screen. And second, I also find it really nice to have these entries to go back to for memories. I find them very nostalgic, but it's also a good proof of your progress and that you're changing as well throughout the years, which can be really hard to grasp when you don't have anything to compare to. So I've journaled for a very long time without any prompts, where I would just empty my brain and write about anything that would worry me or that I would be thinking about or curious about. At some points when I went through more difficult times, I had specific prompts for anxiety, for uncertainty, things like that, to reassure me a little, and they were really helpful. But they can also be a bit overwhelming because I had to dig a bit deeper into each of these questions. So these days I'm going for something very simple, very minimalistic. I write every day just a little thing, and it's mostly so that I can come back to it and say, this is what I was thinking like 3 years ago. And the days where I actually need to sort out my thoughts, I write a little bit more, but 1 line or 2 is enough. I'm not pushing myself to write 1,000 words or how many pages. The first thing I always do is kind of brain dumping my thoughts. Anything that might be happening, it could be very structured, like yesterday I did this, which was really nice, and today I plan on doing this. Or it could be very specific, like, oh, I'm feeling very bummed because I just got this call or this just happened. Usually it turns out, if I do it in the morning and I try to journal in the morning as much as I can, it becomes a bit of a little planning session. So it could be like, this is a bit stressful, but if I do this and this could help me out. So I guess when I'm really behind, I even write a to-do list like every day. But these days, I have my work sorted out like at work. I don't need to bring it into my personal journaling. And I usually have my Notion and other things to keep track of my goals, so I don't really have to worry about it. So it's mostly just planning, chores, brain dumping any anxieties or any doubts. And it could be a couple of lines, it could be a bit more. And it helps me capture some emotions and feelings about the previous day or the day to come. And then I have 2 prompts that I have adopted, I would say a couple of months ago, something like that. And they sounded a bit cheesy, so at first I have to say I didn't think I would keep them, but I actually really enjoyed them, and I realized how answering them in the morning is also giving me, I don't want to say energy, but it's definitely putting me in a better mood, and it's like putting the right foot first, starting with a little first step towards feeling better or getting important things done. So the first thing is things I'm grateful for. And I know I kind of hate it too, because they always say, oh, say like one thing you're grateful for. And I usually find it either really hard or really trivial almost. Like, well, I'm always going to say my family, or like having a job, or like being in a safe situation, things like that. But it turns out that since I write it right after brain dumping a few things, it's not like I'm asking the question right off the bat. I already thought a bit about what happened, what is going to happen today. And so it is kind of a way to reframe this. Like, okay, we have this information, this and that happened, this is planned, today you're feeling like this. It's kind of like past, present, future. And how can you reframe this in a positive way? And a good way to guide you, I think, would be to say one thing you're grateful for that is past. So maybe one thing that happened yesterday or just before you were writing. One thing you're grateful for now. So maybe you're having a really good breakfast, or the weather is really good. It could be anything. And yeah, one thing you're grateful for, either that's going to happen or anything you would like, really. And usually I say small things. I try not to say things that are too general, that I would be able to say every day. It's like something I saw, maybe an animal, something someone said to me, something like that. And the last prompt that I have is quite similar, but it's really helpful for me, I think, for anxiety, because I tend to think about the future in a negative way, like in a pretty pessimistic way. If you're anxious, you would understand. I tend to brace myself for anything that could happen. So it's really helpful for me to say a few things I'm looking forward to. So a few things I'm grateful for, usually 3 things, and then things I'm looking forward to. It's also helpful because I usually have something I'm looking forward to really soon. Sometimes I just write my breakfast, Sometimes it's meeting with a colleague after work, or calling my friends, or calling my family. It could be anything. But the fact that I have to write about 3 items also makes me look forward to next weekend maybe, or next holiday. And it's a good reminder to put things in perspective and remember that the future doesn't only hold like stressful uncertainty and like doubts. So it's been really helpful for me. So as a little summary, of course, everything is written in the newsletter, but I usually start, so my entry name is just the date of the day. I usually start with a few thoughts, like you can think of it as brain dumping or just free writing. It can be really short. It can also be a bit more if I need to sort things out. Then I write a few things I'm grateful for. If I'm not sure, I try to think about what I just wrote about and reframe it in a more positive way. And also things I'm looking forward to. This is especially helpful if you're doing this in the morning because it makes you more optimistic, I would say, for the day to come. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any fun or relaxing journaling prompts you would like to share, please share them in the comments. Bye!